Hi guys, welcome back to Women, Wine and Wisdom. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Naomi.
And today we got a topic for y'all.
We do.
So as you know, we talk about being in our 30s and today we're going to be talking about advice we would give to our younger selves. So if you're in your 20s, to be honest, even if you're in your 30s, this one's for you. Let's kick it off straight away.
Okay.
All right, girl. One piece of advice.
Oh, I think one piece of advice I would have given myself is, I would have given my younger self, would have been travel more.
Ooh.
Girl. When you have a mortgage and you're in serious relationships, I'm telling you, it hits different. And the thing is, it's not to say that you can't still travel when you're in a relationship or when you do have a mortgage. Life doesn't stop after that, so let me not scare any of you.
Yeah,
but ultimately I wish I took more chances and more risks. So I wish I traveled more. I really, like, one of my biggest, I guess, I don't believe in regrets, but one of the things that I regretted was not traveling and working overseas. So I always, so people that are close to me know that I wish I had maybe gone to Dubai or worked in Nigeria for a bit,
about that.
or other countries, because I just feel like when you work in other places, when you travel the world, you just learn new things, and you become a different. You just grow. You just grow. You're exposed to more things, and so I just feel like that's something that I wish I had done more when I was.
And
in my
you know
20s.
what? I love that point because I'm gonna link it to the point that I'm about to talk about. Me personally, and I say this all the time, but my advice to anyone that's young, even if you're a teenager at this point, you are your number one priority. Always. When you're married, you're still your number one priority. When you are young and you want to move out and you want to travel the world and you want to learn new cultures and you want to learn new things and you want to change and you want to grow, the best way to figure that out is sometimes being in a different country by yourself. When you're surrounded by family, for example, you have a support network in place, you have all these things. When you venture out into a new country, you're like, wait, it's me by myself. I've really got to figure out how to live. And then you experience new things that maybe you're not used to. And then you grow, you adapt, you see what kind of person you are. And I say this as well, when I was in Dubai, I learned a lot. I learned so much. But
I was going to say, it pushes your boundaries.
Literally.
It pushes you beyond the reef. It pushes you beyond what you believe you are capable of and the things that you can achieve. So
absolutely.
Yeah. I wish I did more of that.
Yeah. And when I say you are your number one priority, I mean you are your number one priority in terms of your physical health, your mental health. Like you need to work on that brain of yours, that mind of yours. Sometimes you get random thoughts. You need to learn it again to be in your solitude, learn to love yourself by yourself before you can actually be with somebody else. Learn to know what you'll accept, what you're like, actually, no. Learn to say no, because I don't want to do that. It doesn't really fit in my life. It doesn't really fit in my morals or my ethics. I feel like when we're younger, we're kind of just going with the flow, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. But when you spend time by yourself and you figure out what your priorities are and what works for you and your goals, you're kind of like, no, I'm not doing that because it doesn't align with me. Whereas I feel like when I was younger, I kind of like, I'm a dabble. I'm a dabble. I'm
gonna go here. I'm gonna go there. But that's another thing. I think another point I'd like to make is I wouldn't succumb to peer pressure or feeling that I had to do something to be liked. I think it's important to be able to know yourself and be okay with that. If your friends want to go and, I don't know, skive off school because they think that's cool or that's the in thing to do. No, like if that's not you, then that's not you. It's fine. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say that's not me. I don't want to be a part of that and I don't want to do that.
2 points from that point that you just made. So 2 things of like what the back you just said. One, and it links back again to my point of you are your number one priority. Don't require too much external validation. In fact, you shouldn't even require external validation because that's when you succumb to peer pressure. That's because you're like, oh, actually, this might make me look better in somebody else's eyes. How about do you look better in your eyes?
Come on.
That's what it is.
Be content within yourself.
Exactly that. And then another piece of advice that I would definitely give my 20-year-old self or my younger self is be mindful of the people that are around you and in your space.
Ooh, come on.
That's it. So I know that, again, I say this all the time, but if your 5 closest friends are broke, so are you.
Amen.
If your 5 closest friends are not doing well in school, if they're not doing well in life, you probably just behind them.
Yeah.
Or around them. So even if you're judging them from the outside saying, oh yeah, this friend of mine is not doing well. Yeah. Why is that person your friend?
Yeah.
Well, you need to think about that.
100%. And I actually have a friend who knows somebody who was around the wrong group of friends in school.
Yes.
And this person was under gifted and talented prior to meeting these friends. Under gifted and talented. She was super smart. She was a person that everyone wanted to copy their work off of. Like super intelligent. She got in with the wrong crowd.
Okay.
She thought at the time that they were her friends, but they were not the right friends for her.
Yeah.
And because of that, they ended up I wouldn't want to say sabotaging her, but leading her down the wrong path. Yeah. And so when they'd go skiving, she joined them. When they wanted to smoke, she joined them. And then in the end, she didn't really pass her GCSEs. She did really poorly. Didn't they didn't even do well themselves. But it's because they didn't do well that she too, when it came to studying, they weren't encouraging her to study. They were studying is for nerds. It was all of that kind of stuff.
I want to be a nerd.
Let me be a nerd. Yeah. So then anyway, but long story short, now that she's left them and she's doing her own thing, she's thriving. She's, gone back to uni. She's doing her thing. But it's because she now is comfortable within herself and confident within herself.
Is she older now though?
She's older.
Yeah. So I feel like it's difficult when you're younger it's easier to get involved with the wrong people.
That's the thing. So definitely in your 20s and younger as well, just be mindful of being under peer pressure and feeling that you have to do what the rest of your friends are doing, because listen, own who you are, be confident in who you are, and love yourself.
Absolutely. And I have a stat that I wrote down and I didn't want to forget it because again, being around the right people is really important. So basically there was a study and I think it was about 58,000 hours, 11 companies. And if you sat within 25 feet of top performance, your performance increased by 15%, right? But if you sat within 25 feet of a poor performance, guess how much your percentage decreased by? Your performance was poor, but by 30%. So generally, you're just overall worse off.
Yeah.
So again, your friends, the people you're surrounding yourself with absolutely matter.
Yeah.
They matter down to a T in that aspect. So yeah.
Yeah. That's 100%. Let's get it. So before we move on, girl, did we cheers?
Oh wow.
Okay.
Cheers, my beautiful.
Cheers. It's I like it. I'm feeling it. Okay.
This is sweet.
I like it, but we'll speak on it a bit later. But yeah, I thought it was important not to forget to cheers.
Absolutely, we should always cheers. Okay, so what other advice would you give? What's your next piece of advice?
I would say definitely save more. Come on, we want that cash doiler. Yeah. So I would definitely say save more. I think when I was younger, I'm thinking, I've got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
It's fine. When I'm older and I'm making my millions, I will save then or I'll invest then. And it's like, no. I wish I had saved more. There's a time where I met with a financial advisor and they give
you a reality check.
Okay.
They give you
They're rude. Yes. They're very rude. So, so I think I was 25, 26 at the time. And they were like, let me show you how much you would have been making had you had, or how much you would have had in your savings had you had saved.
Even
just as little as £200 from the moment you started working.
Yeah.
I should be mortgage free.
Oh,
okay.
The thing is as well, because most of us started working at 16.
Well, this is the point.
Yeah.
So if you started working at 16, and even if you saved just a little bit every month, it would have made such a difference.
Absolutely.
So I wish I had a little bit more financial literacy and understanding at a younger age, and I wasn't so naive to just thinking, oh, money's coming into my account, so money needs to leave my account. So I definitely wish I saved more.
I 100% agree with that point completely. 100%. I think another piece of advice from me would be to have grit. So when I say have grit, it means discipline over motivation, consistency, hard work beats talent. I think when you're younger, you think, I'm good at this, I'm not that good at this. No. Whatever you do consistently every day will show up eventually.
100%.
When you realize that discipline over motivation, the habits that you keep are so important, you will get to where you want to get to eventually.
Yeah.
And grit essentially means passion, perseverance for long-term goals. When you have or you set long-term goals, you need to be able to work to achieve them. I feel like we get caught again now. Social media's got this instant gratification. Everything is instant. We want things now.
Yeah.
And had I, like back then, I would have said, have grit.
Yeah.
I was going to give an example. Go on. One thing I was going to say as well, like I remember being at uni and one of my girls, shout out to her because she's incredible. We both got scouted to play for England netball. I was too lazy. Yeah. She had perseverance and grit. And what happened was we went to uni in Leicester. She was going to Bournemouth, to Bath, to this, to travel, to go to the training sessions. I'm like, no, I'm not getting out of bed for that.
Yeah.
Did she not play for England netball?
Okay, then.
There you go. Then. And do you know what kind of tag team we were? We was incredible. And I know even now, I'm sure if we stepped on the court, we'd still be incredible. Do you get what I mean? But have grit. Do you know what I mean? Yes, I've had grit in a lot of aspects of my life, and I've achieved so many things, and I'm super grateful. But if I could go back, I'd change that.
I like that. That's important. And just to piggyback off of that,
you want piggyback, girl?
I want piggyback. So I would say not to be scared. Like fear is a big crippler in a lot of like young people's lives. I wish I had a little bit more confidence to just do things. And I remember reading a book and it said fear is false events appearing real.
Yes. False evidence appearing real. That's another way. Yeah. Tuck it.
And I feel like a lot of the times we scare ourselves out of things that haven't even happened. Oh, but what about if this happens? Or what about if I fall and break my leg? Or what about if I crash? Or what about if, that business doesn't hit? It hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
You don't know that that's going to be the situation. So just go for it. Just do it. And whatever happens, you'll land safely. It's like jumping off of a cliff. Just know that a parachute is on your back. Yeah. Whatever happens, you'll have a safe landing. And if it doesn't happen that you land in the place that you think you're going to land, you will land somewhere else. Yep. But you will land.
And you will land. And on that way, you will learn so many things.
Yeah.
Again, something I always say, fell forward.
Exactly. That's another point that I wanted to make, because failure is not the end of you. And I think a lot of the times, like when I was younger, I felt, and I think because of school, I feel like because of school, a lot of people felt like if you fail at something, it means that you've not, that's the end of the road. Yeah. That you can't achieve or you can't have success, But really and truly, failure is the way that you keep on learning. It's the way that it opens your mind to learn new things. It opens your mind to understand that, okay, this didn't work, so let me try it this way. Failure is not where it stops. Failure is just another learning curve. It's another teaching curve.
It's a beginning.
Exactly.
It's a journey.
So failing forward is so imperative to success. And I wish I just knew that a little bit more when I was younger, that failure is not the end. However, just an example. I did actually apply it to something, but that was off the back of my mum's advice, pushing and supporting me. And shout out to my mum for that. Because
shout out, auntie.
Because I actually failed my driving test 4 times.
I didn't even know that, guys. But you know what? I love that you're admitting that, because a lot of people do fail their driving test. I passed them the second time.
All right.
But no. I'm joking. But a lot of people actually did fail the driving test many times. Yeah. And actually, I had some serious anxiety going into my second test.
It got to a point where I was just like, I'm just going to have to be rich and just hire a chauffeur because I can't do this.
My cousin always says that, same thing. Guess what? Now she's doing her driving.
No way. The thing is, I literally was like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, like by the 4th time, I was like, I cannot do this. No. But one thing I will say is that I'm probably one of the best drivers. I've never had a crash, and I've been driving for over 10 years. God willing. I've
had a few. But I passed the second time. So. But it was always their fault.
It was always their fault, 100%. But that taught me that, like, through all my failures, I was able to learn how to, like, I've learned, like, all the things not to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's made me a better driver in the long run.
Yep.
And I'm so glad I didn't give up, because now I'm a driver, God willing and touch wood, I've not had a crash.
I knew it.
And that's a testament. Like, that just goes to show that failure is not the end of the road.
Yeah.
You can, through your failures, you learn new things. You fail forward and you become a better version, and it gives you a wealth of knowledge,
Absolutely.
So don't give up.
Absolutely.
Definitely don't give up.
Me and Naomi might disagree on this one. But everything you said, so for example, and just again, going off what we've just been discussing and what we've been saying is, perfectionism does not exist. That's one thing. I know, because obviously we spoke about it before, and I'm like, I always say, I'm like, fell forward. To me, perfectionism is a way in which you put yourself off of doing what you need to do. How do you see it? Because it's a hard one, because again, it's like there's lots of little detail that people, they're like, Jimmy, you missed a little detail, you missed that. And I'm like, yeah, it's true, but I did it.
No. Do you know what? And this is where having friends that pour into you is very vital, because Jimmy did teach me. Because let me be honest, I would be somebody who will I'll be like, this has got to be perfect before it even drops. But it's like it kind of ties into that whole failing forward notion, where it's, sometimes you just have to go. Sometimes you just have to take that jump off the cliff and know that you're going to land. And, so I don't feel you should strive for perfectionism.
Yeah.
I think you should just go. I think you should just start the race. Mm-hmm. It's not a sprint. It's very much a journey.
Marathon.
And
you're going to run.
You're going to run.
You're going to run, honey.
You're going to run. So, continue on that marathon. Don't give up. It's a journey, and along the way you will learn. You'll learn endurance, resilience. Absolutely. It will teach you so much character building. So don't give up, but also just get started. Just get started.
Yeah. I think another piece of advice I would give as well, and I talk about this in my book, 20 Nothing, 20 Something, is forgiveness.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Forgiveness.
That's one that I was gonna. Yep.
Was you gonna talk about that as well?
Yeah. If you haven't read Jimmy's book, read her book. But it's like, ultimately, I feel like a lot of times we hold on to grudges.
Yes. Talk about it.
And I feel like holding on to anger? Let's talk about it, because holding on to anger can poison you.
Absolutely.
It can really, really affect you.
What's that movie with the Zen turtle? Was it a turtle? Kung Fu Panda. Do you know what I mean? And he's talking. I think he talks about it.
I've not actually watched it. Don't give me that look, because how many movies have you not watched?
Avatar.
Yeah. Okay. So let's not call you out.
That's true. Kung Fu Panda's lit though. But anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, as you were saying, yeah, I feel like it's so important. I think it's like drinking poison.
It is.
And expecting the other person to die.
Exactly.
Basically that. So, guys, forgiveness is for you. It's not even about the other person.
Exactly.
Just remember, that person's going on, living their life. You're still holding some grudge from secondary school.
Oh, listen.
They don't even
let it go.
They don't even remember you.
Okay, let it go. It's not worth it.
Honestly.
That ex relationship that upset you, let it go.
Darling, he's married.
He's married with children and has moved on. Let it go. Let's be honest.
She's there with children. Mm-hmm.
Let it go.
Yeah.
But it's ultimately exactly like you're saying. It's like drinking poison.
Yeah.
You don't want to allow that to affect you or cripple you. There's people that, for example, will be in, have come out of a sour situation, a toxic relationship, and they're just like, I can't believe he's done this to me. Like Acrimony, that movie. Watch it on Netflix.
We talk about it all the time, but honestly, you need to watch it. I made my mom watch it the other day.
Ultimately, in Acrimony, she doesn't move on. He's moved on. He's married. He's got his penthouse. I don't want to ruin it too much for you. So
the new wife was a cow though.
But she was. Yeah. We won't go into it.
We won't go into that. Yeah.
But ultimately, because of her anger and bitterness, she could not move on, and it crippled her. It crippled her and led eventually. If you haven't watched it, skip this part. But it led to her death. And so, don't allow your anger to cripple you, hold you back, and lead to fatality.
Yes. Exactly that.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say anything else because Nate just hit it on the head. So yeah, that's it.
But another point I would make is that I would learn to love myself more and know that I'm enough.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because
you are your number one priority.
I done said it.
Yeah,
absolutely. But also it's like, you're going to have little things about you that you're like, oh, this person might not like it, or this person might find it weird.
Yeah.
But you are your own individual person. There's no two fingers that are the same. Be your own individual person and love yourself and be content with it. Don't seek validation from other people.
Nope.
If you're a bit quirky and you do little quirky things, that's what makes you unique. Yeah. Who wants to fall in line with the rest of society?
You know what's so funny?
Go on.
Even that. So I remember when I was younger, I was wearing these really baggy black trousers one day and everyone was like, why are you wearing that? Will I not wear that now? Just for free? Do you know what I mean? Do I not wear Dr. Martens extra chunky? You will see me with chunky boots. Everyone's like, why'd you wear chunky boots like that? Because I want to.
Because I want to. And there'll be somebody, you don't need validation from other people be you. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, when you can be yourself, you are the happiest. Yep. You're the most content. Yep. You feel so much more fulfilled. Yep. So just be you. Just love yourself. As humans,
we crave authenticity.
Exactly.
And that's where we want to be ultimately. That's if you want to be fulfilling your purpose.
Yeah.
Authenticity is so important. So I 100% agree.
Like, do you feel like you do anything quirky or different that you feel when you were in your 20s people didn't accept, but now you're just like, I love it, I embrace it, this is me?
I feel like for me personally, like, I'm a very unique individual. just anyway. But again, I think I just said it, like in terms of how I dress, I think sometimes I'm like, they're like, girl, you a little bit of a grunger, whatever you want to call it. Do you know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but I might wear black a lot. I might wear chunky boots a lot. That's just who I am. It just is what it is. I like that. It works for me and it works for my partner.
Yeah,
and that's
then
okay.
That's it. That's the end of it.
What about you?
Do you know what? Funnily enough, I used to hate smiling. Girl.
Can you imagine?
I used to hate smiling. I used to think like, oh my gosh, like I don't know how to smile. I don't know how to pose in pictures.
Pictures I'm still working with.
Listen,
we're still working on
We're
that.
still getting there. Yeah. But ultimately, I used to be I feel like I used to be very shy. So even me doing this pod, a lot of people were like, okay, we know you talk a lot, but you doing a pod, like you're not that kind of person. Like you're quite a shy person.
I love that though, because that means you're coming out.
Girl, I'm trying to, throw myself over that cliff.
Yeah.
But ultimately, so I just learned to just love who I am, love my smile. It is what it is. And like, funnily enough, it's the thing that most people love about me. Yeah. And I actually did, thank you. I did, me and my friends, we did this thing where we were just going around asking different friends what they love most about us.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to hear what people say, because you'd find that a lot of the things that you are probably self-conscious about are the very things that people love about you.
And you know what's really interesting about this? And I think we spoke about it, and I think I was thinking about it with my partner the other day. I'm like, I don't think it's good to highlight your flaws to other people, because like you just said, a lot of the time your flaws to you are what people love about you.
Yeah.
And I remember my partner telling me something, and I was like, it's so crazy that you said that, because I absolutely love that about you.
Yeah.
And he was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? And sometimes it just gets like that. So sometimes, guys, keep your flaws to yourself. Don't ever belittle yourself, because like you just said, people love those things about you. Yeah, people love those things about you.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. What about you? Anything else that you tell your younger self?
Yeah.
You're like, she better listen.
Learn to take criticism, and don't be the first to talk in the room. Listen and actively listen before you speak. Those are a few things. I think for me, especially even in the last year, to be honest, I'm very self-aware anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to grow. But I'm happy to admit when I'm at fault.
Yeah.
I'm happy to admit where if I've done something wrong or where I can grow. I have no issue apologizing.
Yeah.
And I have no issue people telling, don't get me wrong, if someone's just trying to cuss me, then we can go back and forth on that. Yeah. But if you're telling me something and I'm like, no, actually you have a point. And that's going to make me improve as a person. Learn to take constructive criticism and take it well. Yeah. Sometimes people are actually just trying to help you grow, and people are put in your life to help you grow.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Again, and do you know what? I hate this even at work. Talking for talking's sake. Please, sometimes just listen. Do you know what I mean? And you know when everyone's like, oh my God, like I just need to fill the silence. Do you know that actually you look more incompetent when you are just trying to fill the silence?
Yes,
just be silent, because it's better. And I remember we did like a personality test, and mine was like you're very direct. You only talk when you need to talk. Because you're talking, but you just said that because you wanted your voice to be heard.
Yeah.
But why? You don't, and it doesn't often reflect well.
It doesn't.
It actually often doesn't reflect well. So actually being able to listen and listen well is often better for you than just listening to respond.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I do feel like a lot of people do talk for talking's sake.
Yeah, and God, it's so annoying as well.
Yeah, especially in the workplace. They just want to be seen and heard. But like you say,
sometimes it does pay off though. They might get a promotion, but you didn't get the promotion because you're good at your job. You got the promotion because you talk too much.
Well, I mean, we've spoken about it on another.
Yeah, you talk too much.
Yeah, on another episode, networking. Check it out. Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. Sometimes you do need to just learn how to be a listening ear.
Yeah.
And I feel like as I've gotten older, I've become a lot more self-aware. Learning to know myself. Okay. Learning to know your strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
Because that is very, very, very important.
Yeah.
We are all not perfect.
Absolutely
Definitely not perfect, and we all have our flaws.
Absolutely.
But also just knowing your flaws. I feel like there's a difference between being oblivious to your flaws, but then there's a power in knowing your weakness.
Yeah. Because
if you know your weaknesses, then you know how to address those issues or how to combat it, or you know how to does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like if you don't know your weaknesses and you lack self-awareness, you have a lot of work to do.
You do.
You have a lot of work. You're not ready for a relationship. You're not ready for that promotion. You're not ready, because you need to be able to sometimes not think about you. Yeah. And we talk about this often. I'm like, it's not about us, or it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's sometimes about other people.
Yeah.
And if you don't know where your flaws are and how you can manipulate them to help other people, you're not there yet.
Yeah.
You're not there yet.
Yeah. So it's important. Know yourself. Be self-aware.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I think is really important for my 20s. Because we've touched on quite a few. Like,
we've touched on quite a few.
Yeah. I think the last one from me is going to be goal setting. But even though goal setting is super important, it's never actually about the goal. It's always about the journey.
Yeah.
There's more, like, I don't know about anybody else and how they feel about it, but I've actually realized, like, you know, when I set myself goals, I'm like, get this house done, get this house done, get this car done. It's always the journey that's been more fun than the goal, because the goal, actually, you celebrate it. Yeah, we're going to go to dinner. Yay, cheers. After that,
what's next?
What's next? That's the thing. There's consistent goals you're always going to want to set. Don't get me wrong, it's important to have goals.
Yeah.
But the journey, what I learned on the journey, who came along on that journey with me, how I grew from that journey. And I was saying to my manager the other day, how much I've grown in the last year. Even though, even though I think I continuously grow, in the last year when I sit back and reflect, I'm like, I've really grown in this journey, in this new job, you know? Yeah. So learn to enjoy the journey, as opposed to putting so much focus on the end goal. Yeah,
I totally agree. I can see that as well, because I feel like you say, you get to the goal and then you're just like, oh, no. Okay, after that whole, it's like crossing that finishing line. It's like after that whole run, you just feel like, whew. And that's what it feels like sometimes when you get a goal. You just, and that's it.
Breathe.
You just breathe.
Yeah.
But then that run, that endurance is what really is character building and is really what makes all the difference. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think
what was
that's
the last one.
There is a time and a season for everything.
Oh, yes.
Come on.
Snaps. I talk about this in my book too. Talk about it.
There is a time and a season for everything. I feel like you don't need to feel like you need to be there at this point in your life. Yes. So, for example, a lot of people after graduating uni, they felt like, oh, I have to be married now. I have to settle down. I have to have kids now. Yes. That's the next thing. And it's like, maybe that's not what God has planned for you. That's not what God has planned for you. Yeah, maybe that's not your season to be having those things. Maybe there's still a lot more growth in you. So don't compare yourself to others. Don't look at others and envy what other people have, because that's what society tells you has to come next in your life. Yeah. Even going to uni, for a lot of people, when I speak to a lot of my friends now, they regret going to uni. Yes. Or they just say that, I wish I went to uni for a different course, or when I was older, because even at 18, 16, 17, how are you meant to make a decision for the rest of your life on what careers you want?
Yes, it's true.
You don't fully know yourself. So, you know, there's a time and a season for everything. So not to feel too pressured by what's happening in society and societal standards.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that as well. Yeah. And sometimes, a lot of the time, we're comparing our chapters to somebody else's. Like, for example, let's say I'm in chapter 1. I'm looking on Instagram or I'm looking at TikTok and I'm comparing myself to somebody who's on chapter 20. You have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. You have no idea how they got there. So comparison is a thief of all joy. I completely agree with everything you said. There's a time and a season for everything. God does not make mistakes.
Nope.
You are where you are for a reason.
Exactly.
And another thing is, you're going to continue repeating the same mistakes if you don't learn from it. So, and those lessons will be sent to you in all different types of ways.
I'm telling you.
So, make no comparisons to other people. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Yes. And that's just it.
Okay, let's give it.
I just realised we didn't do a wine story. So, Nay, we're going to have to do a wine story.
We are going to have to do a wine story. Okay. So, are you ready to sip some wine?
I am, but taste. What's your rating on the wine?
This wine, I will say, is probably more around a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. It's really nice. I feel like my nose is blocked, so I'm not really sure what I'm smelling.
I feel like I'm getting... But there's definitely some strawberry in it.
Definitely strawberry.
There's definitely...
I feel like I'm getting summer fruits. Like...
Yeah. It's not drying at all, this wine.
It's not, no.
It's no dryness. Like,
I feel like it's medium bodied. Yeah.
I feel like if you're new to red wine, this red wine would be very good for you.
Yeah, Pinots are usually really quite good.
Yeah, Pinots are normally, I want to say strawberry, and there's something else that's in there. I can't remember the grape variety, but yeah. If you're new to red wine, Pinots are good, and this is a very good choice.
Yeah. No, I like this.
I like this one.
I would definitely recommend.
Would you, honey? Would you? What would you pair this with?
do you know what? Like light snacks. I think this is quite a good one if you've got some friends over, you just want to have a glass of red, you want to have a chilled evening, nothing too heavy, and you just want to have like maybe like some salty snacks.
I love salty snack.
I love salty snacks.
Do
so, like
you know what?
salt and vinegar crisps or like pretzels.
I feel like we love salt and vinegar crisps. People are going to be like,
you lot are plucking salt and vinegar too much. But trust me, it pairs very, very well with red wine. Yeah.
And you know how women like to talk and drink wine. So Nate's going to tell you a little wine story.
Let me tell you. So we had someone slide in our DMs.
I love a little slide in the DM.
I like a little slide. Guys, send us your wine stories because these are like...
They're funny. They just give me they're giving me life.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But so this wine story. So this lady explained that she was in a relationship.
Yes.
And she also had a sugar daddy. But his sugar daddy just gave her the things that she needed.
Okay.
So it was things like, if she wanted a like expensive bag or go on holiday, he would finance those sides to her life.
Was she giving him sugar?
She was giving him sugar. So her partner, she only knew 2 people from South London. Like her partner and her sugar daddy.
Okay. Is she from South London or no?
No, she's not from South. Well, she said she's not from South.
Okay.
And then she finds out that they were heading down to somewhere in the South and she's just thinking, oh, where are we going? And he was like, I'm just picking something up for my friend. And she was thinking, there's no way. Like they ended up on the street that leads to her sugar daddy's house. And she was thinking, there's no way. There is no way this could be the sugar daddy that we're going to. And he stops, parks up, and it's the sugar daddy that comes out. Did you hear what I said? It was the sugar daddy that came out. So, so she's just like, oh shit. And they had business together or whatever. And then she turns around.
They had a business together?
Yeah.
Oh. No.
Listen. So she turned around and was just like, oh, this is a problem. So she ended up telling her partner.
Oh. Well, that relationship must be done.
Well, I mean,
that's got to be done.
It's of course done.
Yeah, there's no way. Do you know what? Yeah, no, that's done. There's nothing
How do you come back from that?
You don't. That's the thing. You don't, because it's one of those things where men like to be providers. So
going to another man to
provide for you is
just, I mean, it's a red flag. Why is she even in a relationship if she can't get what she needs out of hers?
Yeah, no, 100%. And then secondly, again, why do you feel the need to go to a sugar daddy? Do you know what I mean? Why can't you start a side hustle?
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Why can't you maybe ask your parents? Ask your man.
Ask your man. Level
Can
up.
I have some cash?
Him, invest in him. Do you know what I mean?
You pay for Pilates?
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely done that before. Do you see what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, like, yeah, why would you... That is...
Beyond wild.
Wild.
It is a lot. And I just, like you say, it's why don't you start a side hustle or speak to your man, invest, or even grow yourself as an individual so you can afford the things that you want out of life.
Yeah.
But having a sugar daddy and having a man, and then they both knowing each other?
No, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. This world is small. Like, so you've got to move smart. Like, and when I say smart, I don't mean like you got to be more discreet with it, but just move smart in the sense that just don't do those kind of things.
And every decision you make has
catch up.
Exactly. Yeah, they have consequences.
There's no way you would get away with it. Whatever's done in darkness will always come to light.
Mm-hmm.
So choose wisely. But
what an interesting wine story.
I'm telling you. So send us your wine stories, guys. Keep them coming because that one was juicy.
It was juicy.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's time we wrap this up.
Wrap it.
We hope that you enjoyed the lessons for your 20s, teens, even in your 30s, to be honest, because there are always things that we can continuously work on.
Yeah.
If there's anything you think we've missed, which I'm sure we would have, because there's thousands of lessons that people will tell their younger selves, comment them below. Let us know. If you want another episode on it, also let us know. But for now, we're going to cheers and wrap this up.